Every successful entrepreneur has their top business secrets, the special tips, ideas, and insights that completely change the game for them. No topic is off limits, as leading industry experts get real and reveal all. I'm Joe Vega. Welcome to Flower Shop Secrets. Watch now on YouTube, like, subscribe, and ring the bell for new episodes. What's up, everybody? This is Joe Vega, and welcome to another Flower Shop Secret podcast. Today's guest is Josh Fredo of Bayberry Flowers. Josh formerly operated 4 additional flower shops in Virginia, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. He began his career in the floral industry shortly after graduating from high school, with the assistance of his grandparents, who rented land behind his mentor's shop and planted flowers to grow a garden. Welcome to the show, Josh. What are some of the lessons you've learned throughout all of your years of dealing with multiple shops? What are some of the struggles you've gone through?
Not everybody has the mindset to be able to stick in with this industry. A lot of people think that it's easy money and the job is super easy and that they can just come and go as they want. They don't think about the long hours. And you have to have somebody that's going to work with you and understand like during holiday times, you're not leaving till like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, coming in early in the morning, and that the money just doesn't magically appear overnight. You have to wait for it. You have to wait till your vendors pay you and stuff like that.
Finding a good business partner is like finding your significant other, because you're financially married at that point, right? Technically. So finding a good business partner is key. If that relationship doesn't work out, the business is not going to work out, period.
I finally, after 5.5 years, have a staff that actually understands that, values that, sees what's going on, and understands how things work. And then they now take pride in what they do and understand that the hard work does pay off. It's not an instant gratification.
People outside of the industry think like, if you're in the floral industry, they just think like, oh, you work with flowers. How nice could that be? It's just like, you just smell the roses all the time. They have no idea like the grunt work, like the exactly. You're a blue collar worker. I mean, it's hard. It's a hard job. People don't realize that.
They only see the 9 to 5 part. They don't see the 5 p.m. till 2 o'clock in the morning doing book work or ordering things. You're trying to find out what the next trend in vases or flower style is going to be, or the continuously learning new design styles, or like getting up early in the morning to make sure the funeral gets there on time.
So what are some of the things that your mentor sort of taught you that you still use today?
Not let the customers lead you. You lead the customers, so that way you can provide the best quality product for them. So that way they're not just thinking of something that they've seen on a wire service and just think that it's just magically happens. You got to lead them and educate the customers with different products and different product knowledge, so that way they're making an informed decision.
So it sounds like you try to act as a guide, not just trying to sell them flowers when they're buying flowers.
Correct. If you're really upfront, and that's one of the things that I've learned over time, is being blunt and telling people exactly how things are actually works a lot better than trying to sugarcoat things. For the most part, our customers are very well receptive if you call them and talk to them. And like a lot of times we can't get ceramic potters for our dish gardens right now because they're just not available. So we'll call the customers and offer a different alternative, stuff like that. Some people are really pressed on it, but then other people are like, oh, okay, that's fine, we understand. And then we go from there. And we also, if that's the case, we upgrade the size for them if they're okay with things. It's all about the customer service and being honest and upfront with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all about connecting with their emotions and their mental status. Right now, we're working out of our Milton location because our Bayberry location had a fire the weekend before Mother's Day.
No way.
The restaurant that was connected burnt to the ground and took out 2 other buildings. We suffered a lot of smoke damage on all of our wedding products. And we had 5 weddings that I had to redo that morning. And the whole goal was to have them done the night before, so we could just deliver them in the morning, have it smooth, and then just start working on Mother's Day stuff. But that backfired massively.
That's one of those instances where it's got to be all hands on deck, right? You called everyone's got to work.
Everybody that I knew.
Yeah.
If friends, people, I'm like, do you know what this flower is? Go get me X, Y, and Z of that. Get me this container. I was just having people running. I didn't even move from my spot from 6 o'clock in the morning until 3:10, and then the last wedding was delivered 10 minutes before the flowers needed to be there.
You contacted the brides and did you warn them that you may not make it, or what, did you had it in your
No,
head like,
I
no,
told
no, no,
them
I'm doing this?
I told them it wouldn't be at the time that we planned because most of them had to be there by noon. I said, it will be there before you walk down the aisle, but it might not be there at noon. And I explained what happened. They're like, you're going to remake all of that? I was like, yes.
Wow. Oh, that's pretty hard to follow up with that. That seems like if Floristry was a movie, that scene would be in it.
We're unpaid therapists.
Sounds like you have a lot of grit to pull through all these things and make it work.
Oh yeah. I'm just stubborn.
I'm going to call it grit. You could call it whatever you want. Not only did you make it, but you're thriving. So how did you handle the comeback from those struggles?
A lot of hard work, a lot of hours. At one point in time, I had a partner that took multiple vehicles and everything after they were supposed to be joint in both of our names. And I pretty much just got a beater car and started delivering through that way, lessened the staff that I had, and then pushed through. And then another partner just left after that.
Not everybody actually would make it through those things, especially with the business partner, because that can definitely cripple you.
Exactly. A lot of people just expected me to fold and give up. And because I'm stubborn, I wanted to prove them wrong and prove that I could make it work through.
Do you work closely with your wholesaler, local growers, or do you do any foraging? Like, how do you get your flowers?
We do a mixture of everything. We grow some of our own flowers now, especially after the whole COVID craziness. We started planting our own flowers. So next year we'll actually have 230 peony plants. So that way we actually can harvest our own peonies. We also have different things like lilacs that we planted. And I'm working on building a greenhouse this summer for all of our orchids because we do a lot of orchid sales. And local wholesalers, in my opinion, they're becoming kind of a passe thing, especially when you can get drop shipped directly from the farms. But I still try and work with them to keep them in business because you can't get everything from a grower and drop ship, or you have to buy it in such a large quantity. But what we do is we work with other flower shops. Let's say if I need to order anthurium and I can only order 200 pieces of anthurium and I only need 100. I'll see if any other local flower shops need anthurium and I'll split it with them because 9 times out of 10, the price is going to be cheaper than the wholesaler.
So it sounds like you're diversifying your sources from where you get your flowers from. You actually started planting your own stuff now.
Exactly. With the way the world's going, it's just, you have to have a backup plan for your backup plan. I learned that after March of last year.
Right.
And I almost lost my shirt completely. And I diversified the inventory. When we couldn't get flowers last Mother's Day, we sold planter pots. And as you guys had on the websites this year, planter pots were a big thing.
Yeah.
And we doubled the amount of planter pots that we had from last year, and we completely sold out and had to make more.
Running multiple shops, how do you maintain quality across multiple shops? Like, what's that process like?
Design all out of one location currently, and
Okay.
I oversee all of it. Right now, I am predominantly the main designer. So I pretty much do all of the designs. And then with Melissa, she's now learning how to design. So I oversee her, and she's gotten to the point where I can actually not hawk her every move and go, oh, you need to move this here. And then we have another designer, Shaylee. She comes in sometimes and helps us out too. So we have a good staff. And then right now we're waiting on 2 more that are going to start next week to be designers in training. So they have 6 months to be in training before I let them on their own.
Cool. I needed to ask you this. What exactly, like, you decided to incorporate something called Pop's Corner into your shops. What is that?
My grandfather and my grandmother were a very big part of me getting into the floral and arts field. Like I said, they did that garden thing, and then I got into the industry because of that. My grandfather was very supportive the entire time that I've been in the industry, even when I went to school for it, when other people weren't. When I had my struggles, he was always somebody that I could go talk to. And like, he would say, hey, just keep pushing and you'll get there. Just don't lose hope. Don't lose faith. And I went through a massive depression where I was going to close my stores after he passed away.
Mm.
Um, it took several months and the help of my current business partner, Melissa, for me to get through it. And in order to honor him, I wanted to add on Pop's Corner because he taught me carpentry as well. And he used to build things like the outdoor reindeers and sleds. He helped me make stuff for weddings, like a Cinderella carriage and the wooden horses that we did garlands and stuff on. And I want to keep up with that tradition and have those. And I do those in a spare time, like outdoor furniture, the mangers for nativity sets, sleds, the outdoor reindeer, and a lot of our wedding rental pieces, all out of wood. And I wanted to keep his memory alive by having Pop's Corner.
That's fantastic. I mean, that sounds great. It sounds like you really, really loved your grandfather.
I did. He was a great man. He was always there for anybody in need. Even animals, like stray animals, he'd take in and help, and he was a good man.
That's a great way to basically honor the memory of your grandfather, keeping that going. What other ideas are you have in the works to expand your business or to grow your business?
Franchising. Under the Friendly Florist name, we're going to eventually franchise that out with 4 different models. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do site surveys for anybody that wants to buy the franchise, see what their medium income is, what type of people are in that area, what the job types are, what design styles and home aesthetic styles are. So that way we can help them pick out what design of the business style would work best for them. And then what we do is we'll go down there, we'll set up the whole shop and set up the design, show them what stuff to buy, what's the best stuff that's going to sell, high sell items. And then they will train with us for a month, learning different design styles and different techniques and how to work different systems, of which we want to incorporate you guys with as well.
Love it. Let's go. Let's do it. Well, franchising for flower shops, period, has been quite the challenge, right?
Exactly. And that's one of the things that we plan on training with everything as well.
So you got the design part down and you know what you're looking for and there's certification for that stuff. But how are you going to pick and choose sort of like people who are smart in other areas? Because running a flower shop is not just about making pretty things. It's not just about designing. It's about running a business. It's like what plans do you have there?
They have to have some knowledge of the business background before we'll even sell a franchise out.
So you're going to go through an application process, it sounds like.
Correct. You have to fill out a questionnaire and you have to explain why you want to do this, what your business background is. So that way you're not just doing something and then boom, it's just going to collapse, because then that looks bad on us. So we're designing it and we're going to be there as a support system as well to make sure that you succeed. And if we don't think that it's going to succeed in an area, we're going to tell you exactly, this is why it's not going to do this in this area. These are the other areas that you need to look at. Our next model that we're going to be working on is a cafe/flower shop where all the gift items are things that are made in the cafe and you can buy them in the gift store as well as buy them pre. And then one of the things about the cafe, we're also going to be using a lot of plants and things like that. So that way, like in our one store, we actually have pothos and it's growing across rafters in this front sales area. We're going to do something like that with a waterfall and koi pond and different types of plants throughout there. Like we have night blooming jasmine in our one store that blooms and fills the store with fragrance. We're about 2 weeks out from it doing that right now.
Awesome. Josh, thank you so much for joining us today. Where can people go online and find more about you?
Bayberry is florist in Rehoboth, REHOBOTH.com. And then all of our Friendly Flower store you can find at friendlyflowersflorist.com.
Great. Thank you so much for joining me today, Josh.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
We want to help your business bloom. Check out more episodes of Flower Shop Secrets. Watch now on YouTube, like, subscribe, and ring the bell for new episodes.